Welcome back to Chloe Jonathan & Co. YouTube. Today I will be showing you how to measure for blinds. This can be chick blinds, Roman blinds, roller blinds, Venetian blinds, whatever you want. It just gives you a rough guide on how to measure your windows so that you can send them over to us to start estimating for you. Note that this is not going to be for making, this will just be for estimating purposes. We would always send out a fitter to come out and measure for you. But this will give you a good reference so that you know how to give us accurate measurements for your Roman blinds. I'm now going to show you how to measure for inside and outside recess. Let's start with the outside recess. Normally when I have a window like this, I would want to measure for the width, the sill. How I would do it is I would take my tape measure and I would sit it along the sill and I would measure it all the way to the edge and add 1 centimeter. So my sill width is 153. I'm going to make my measurement 154 centimeters, and that will be my finished width. With the height, that is something that you can decide. The way I like to do it is I like to have my Roman blinds always sitting to the ceiling. The other option that you can do is normally you can fit halfway between the recess and the ceiling. So if your measurement was, let's say, 40 centimeters to the underside of the recess, I would fit my blind maybe midway, so 20 centimeters, which is about what's been done here. This is also really effective if you have a really nice wallpaper that you want to display. So that's the top, but what about the bottom? Normally I don't like when blinds sit to the sill. Unless your sill is jutting out and your blind has nowhere else to go but the sill, I would measure about 5 centimeters below, just so that when the blind is closed, the light doesn't leak as much from the bottom. If you've got a radiator jutting out, I would just take it a few centimeters below the sill and a centimeter off your radiator so that you've got enough space so that it doesn't hit your radiator. If you can go below your sill, I strongly advise it. So let's say we're going to measure this. I'm going to take it from the ceiling all the way to just below the sill. So to the sill would be 181. I want it a centimeter off the radiator, so I'm getting about 184 centimeters on this particular one. Now, if I was wanting to do halfway above, I'd have to measure the space above. So I can see there where the line is, so I'm going to use that flower there as my reference. Above the recess is 30 centimeters. I'm going to take off 15 centimeters off my overall drop. So I originally said I wanted 184, so I'm going to minus 15 off of that, which gives me about 169, which will be my height. Now, when would you want to be fitting outside the recess? You would want to fit outside the recess if you've got a very wonky recess inside, so your window is a little bit on the slanting side. Another one is if your windows open inside, then you would definitely want to have your blinds outside recess because they will create an obstruction. Another example would be if you have a dado rail or any sort of walling that goes inside the recess. So what will happen is if you have any sort of dado there, your blind, when it's down, will hit that dado rail, so it's nicer to go outside recess in that occasion. Now we'll measure for inside recess. There's a few different ways to do this. So if we look at a standard Roman blind, normally your recesses would be straight. This is at an angle. I'll show you how to deal with that, but for quoting purposes, we don't need detail because we'll come out to you most likely. I would go as close to the window as possible. I would take the measurement from the bottom, which is 101, the middle, which is 101, and as high as you can get to the top, which is also 101. Now, this is actually a very nice window to measure. However, I will guarantee that some of your windows won't be even. So you might have some widths that are 102, some that are 105 even. So it's all varied. I would always go with the smallest one, because even if it's 105 up here, if it's 101 down here, your blind will not be going all the way down. So just keep that in mind. You want to go with your smallest width on that. And then we'll have to measure in 3 places for the height as well. So we take it up to the recess, to the sill, which is 149. And then again here, 148.5. And then in the center, 149. So there is a slight variance on the height. Again, I would take the smallest one, so I would say that my height is 148.5. We've decided on 101 with 148.5 centimeter drop will be the measurements that I give to my estimator or curtain maker in order to get a quote. We don't make to these measurements, so we would always come with a fitter to measure. However, if you are measuring for chick blinds, what I would suggest is going over to the chick blind video that we have to know what deductions to make on your windows. Now I'm going to show you if you have a sash window and you'd quite like to measure for 2 treatments and you don't have a recess like this, but it's flat. So let's say your window is much closer. You'd like to put a roller blind inside the sash window and you'd like to put a Roman blind outside the recess. So can you see here, this is a sash window. What I'll be doing is I'll be measuring within this wooden frame here, which is 85 centimeters. That will be my width for the roller blind. Now it will be fitted up here, so we want to make sure that we've got the height from the inside of the pane to the bottom, which is about 140 centimeters. The key thing to let us know is that it's a sash window, so that when we order your blinds, they are reverse rolled, so that when the fabric comes down, it goes over your window here, rather than being standard rolled down and hitting your window frame. Another thing that you would want to maybe decide is what side chain you would have. Normally, I would say put it on the side that you won't initially see, so it's hidden, and so I would always say put it on the side towards the window. But if you've got 2 windows like we have here, it might be easier to have them closer to each other. And so out of ease, you can always put it closer to each other so you can open them faster. It really depends on your personal preference. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to the channel if you found this interesting, and please feel free to reach out to us on projects@chloejonathan.co. You can find us on Instagram at chloejonathan.co, and our website is linked as well. We look forward to hearing from you, and we hope this video was useful. Please comment down below if there was any other videos that you'd like to see from us. Thank you.